So now that we've uncovered the actual technology stack, and I showed that in the past video, I'm going to let you know a little bit about wireframing and kind of my process for designing my application and making sure the flow of all the functionality is working properly. So whiteboarding is very popular for wireframing, and it's something I started with to just come up with my $1 million idea. We're going to draw a box and we're going to mine some Bitcoin, and they're all going to be worth $1 million, $100 million, and that's that. So very simple. I'd like to start from the beginning. So I know a user is going to log in, so I'm definitely going to have a login page, but in order to log in, we first need to have a user, so there'll also be a register page as well. So I'm going to begin up here with a simple register page with a form. After a user registers, they're going to log in. So we're going to go to they'll be logged in on the back end, and then we'll go to like a dashboard. So that will be the main homepage, dashboard. And one thing that I found with the whiteboarding is, with the limited space, it made it really difficult to actually like whiteboard a whole app. And that's why I prefer writing it down and also using LucidChart, which is what I used for the technology stack for the last video. And I've got a few examples here. I don't know if you can see it really well, but I've got like all the functionality as I go. I write it down on little sheets of paper, and I also can diagram it out onto sheets of paper as I go. And this of course changes over time. At first I had all this idea. This is actually the very first one I had, and I went through and had all the routes and everything diagrammed. I don't know how well you can see it. Here is an example of some wireframing. Now this isn't exactly what I have right now. I just wanted to give you an example of what yours could look like. And I think this is really beneficial to really draw out your thoughts and get an idea of what your app's really doing. And if you have the money to pay for like a project manager or a designer or someone to do this for you, that would be awesome. But for myself, being bootstrapped, I am doing it myself, and there's a lot of skills to be learned. So I wanted to just show you a layout of what your wireframes could possibly look like. So you begin here with the register page. You know it's going to be a form with username, email, and password. And after a user registers, they go to a dashboard, and here's kind of a simple layout of what a dashboard may look like. The sidebar, a profile image, some data showing. And the key here is that you want to map out your routing and what the page will look like, what the general feel of the page will be like. And that's what I've done here. And I hope this is helpful to you. I hope you can kind of see and get an idea. Again, I'm no expert by any means. I am not very skilled at building out wireframes, but this is something that I think should be done because programming is a very difficult thing to do. And you don't want that much to sit up in your head. You want to actually draw it out, so that way when you begin programming, you know, okay, on view property page, I'm going to have this exact layout. I'm going to have the profile image. I'm going to have these menu items. I'm going to have a div with a property image, some data flowing, and that is really the goal of this little exercise right here. It helped me tremendously, and I would highly recommend it. I started to come up with the features as I went for long walks at night. I used to go walk around my neighborhood, which is really quiet and peaceful at night, and I just thought about what type of application do I want to build? What type of functionality do I want to have in this application for myself? But also I tried to imagine what a user would want, and when they sign up to the application, what type of functionality are they expecting? What would they want? What would really excite them? What would get them to come back? And what would get them to tell their friends? Now the good thing is this is an application that I can use myself. I'm a real estate investor, and I'm solving a problem that I currently have. It's hard for myself to go find investors, and it's hard for investors to find deals. So why not come up with an application that solves both issues? And on these long walks, this is where I really try to think about what the user's experience would be, and then build functionality based on that. Here's Trello. It's great for project management. I love using it. It's real simple. You can add cards in here, and it follows the Kanban approach. So basically you'll have a bunch of items, and you just work on them as they get to the top. So what I do is I like to keep a backlog, and I'll have a backlog section, and then also have features ranked. I'll do in progress, and then I'll do completed. And I'll hide this menu real quick. Alrighty, so with the backlog, we know that there are going to be certain features. So there's going to be, actually I like to do functionality for login, functionality for register. And it's real simple, functionality for first feature. And what I do is whenever I come up with something, I come up with an idea, I haven't really fleshed it out yet, I'll add it to the backlog. And then when I do think about it and want to add more details, you can click on it, and then you have really anything you need right here. What I like to do is create checklists. So I know for this first feature, we're going to need to add a call to the services for adding user. Next, I'll need to add an endpoint in my controller. Make call to database to save user, and ensure that schema in database has method for adding user. And then save user, and then test. So just like that, I've already got a checklist for everything I need for that feature. So when I work on login, maybe I'll add my own checklist, which is great. I know it's first and foremost, and actually, really, for being logical here, register would be first, and the next feature would be, for the first feature, would be right below it. So whenever I get to working on something, whenever I have these features ranked, I know, okay, time to work on register. I'll create my own little checklist, and whenever I knock out items, I'll just simply check them off, and boom, the story's done. So now it indicates that it is done. I moved over to completed. So now I know I can go out and grab the next feature. So let's add a second one just to give you a visual for what it looks like. So I know the next one is like, okay, time for the first feature. We're going to move it to in progress. I know I've got 6 items. I can sit here and knock them all out. And once I do so, it'll give me an indication that I'm done. Perfect. So now I can move it over to completed. Now time to move on to the next thing. And oh yeah, shoot, I forgot that with first feature, we needed to confirm X, Y, and Z. It's not urgent, so I'm going to keep working on my second feature, but now I have the confirm X, Y, Z in the backlog so that I don't forget it. And this is how I manage my project. This is how I program. I find it very helpful, and it really fleshes out what is in my mind, and it helps me stay focused and really ensures productivity and efficiency of my time.